This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I am your host, Kipp Cohen. It is Tuesday, the 20th of August, 2019. This is a twice weekly training session geared for the subscribers of the Clear Lines indicator running on the Medved Trader platform, and for those that have interest in learning more about Clear Lines. It is a user-driven training session, so your questions are always greatly appreciated. It is a 60-minute session. Again, every Tuesday and Thursday. It is recorded and will be posted to the equity-alerts.com YouTube page, which you can get to by going to www.equity-alerts.com. And then I'll show you. And then up at the top of our webpage, you'll see our social media links. Just click the YouTube link, and that will take you to the page with all of our assorted videos. If you have questions for me, you can submit them through the GoToMeeting player. There should be a submit question window. You can also text me on my cell phone at 972-841-8886, or you can send me an email at kip@equity-alerts.com. And all you have to do is save the link that you used to get in today. You can use that same link each session, every Tuesday and Thursday. The link does not change. All right, so let me just start by giving you a quick overview of the Clear Lines. I know a couple of y'all are regulars and a couple of y'all probably not. So the Clear Lines indicator was created out of necessity when WiseTrade closed their doors a year ago. I decided to let it live on, so to speak, and worked with a developer that's actually a partner in my company, Clear Trading Systems. He was a former WiseTrade programmer, and so he helped me to create the Clear Lines. Due to time constraints and financial, the quickest and most cost-effective way for us to provide the indicator to our user base was through Medved. Medved Trader is a third-party independent trading platform that is integrated with a handful of brokerage firms. Actually, they have a growing list of brokerage firms, and we've had a very good relationship with them. They've been very helpful with accommodating our needs, and we love the platform. It's although there is a little bit of a learning curve for those that were old wise traders and used to the very simplistic wise trade platform. This is definitely more like a active trading platform. It's got a lot more bells and whistles. It is modular, so each of the windows pops out, moves around, can be customized. It does a lot. There are a lot of things that we could never do with the old WiseTrade platform that we can do with the Medved Trader platform. But at the heart of it, and what my customers love is the fact that it has the red and green lines, the buying and selling pressure or momentum lines, and that's what they are. They're not price charts. They're buying and selling momentum, and you can set up the platform to have a very simplistic This is my two chart layout. Right chart is the historical data, which is the monthly or the long-term trend, the weekly or the midterm trend, and the daily or the short-term trend. The left chart is an intraday chart, and it can be switched out to virtually any minute time frame. There's some preset ones, and then you can create custom fields for whatever times you want. The biggest couple of advantages that we could never do with WiseTrade that we can do with this platform is we have the ability to turn on and off or overlay candlesticks, which has a huge advantage because the clear lines are buying and selling momentum based. They're not price charts. So you don't always know exactly, if you're just looking at the lines, where price goes to. So being able to overlay candles behind it allows you to see where the price levels actually went to. The other big thing that we could never do with the old WiseTrade platform was we could not look back more than 51 intervals. So on this platform, we can switch out. We can go 100. We can go 200. We can pick any level of intervals, or we can just scroll back. And hold on, let me turn off the. So you could never do this. You could never scroll back in time, and you can go way back in time. It's like a time machine, and see what the charts looked like. Sorry, let me go to the monthly. You wanted to see what BABA looked like back when it first started trading, or you want to see like Apple when it first started trading. You know, Apple when it was around $1 a share. How about that? But you can go back and see what the red and green line looks like historically. There are a lot of other great things that the Medved platform does. Chart trading is a big component that we all love. The integration, as I was saying, with different brokers, and they are adding brokers to the list. You can connect concurrently with multiple accounts. So you can see I've got TD Ameritrade, and I've got 2 accounts at TD. I've got an Interactive Brokers demo account. I've got Ally Invest for MB Trading and Ally Invest accounts connected as well. And then if you want to add brokers, you click this list and click the add button, and then you can select brokers from the list. They now have Fidelity, actually. So the deal with Fidelity is if you have a Fidelity account, you can trade through Fidelity, but you can't get the data from Fidelity. So you have to get the data from either another broker or another data source. So like I use my TD Ameritrade account to get my data to power the charts, but I can trade from any account. It doesn't matter. You kind of have to separate the two components. So even though I may be connected for data from one broker, I can trade with another broker because of the trade connection. There's a trade connection and there's a data connection. And I believe they have a couple of new brokers that are going to be coming on soon. I forget the names, but Wedbull, I think, is about to get added. Wedbull, I never heard of them. Oh, and Wedbull offers paper trading. Oh, Webull. So I'll have to look into that as soon as that's made available. Wow, that's really great news. I don't see it on the list yet. You can also configure different news sources, either broker-based, Yahoo Finance, or there's some that are paid. If you have some of the paid news sources, you can get those. And any symbol, you can look up the news for that stock just by clicking it. Right-clicking and go into the news feed, and then you'll see all the news stories and where the sources are from. So there are a lot of great things about the software, about the Medved platform. I forgot to mention one of the other great things about my clear lines. Another aspect that the old WiseTrade lines didn't have is the little up and down arrows. I call these my confirmation arrows. When the lines cross, and when the red and green lines cross and it locks in, so when the interval closes, then you'll see a red arrow for a cross down or a green arrow for a cross up. It's a great visual for confirming the trend. You also sometimes get them on what I call a bounce when the lines come together. So right here on Apple on the monthly chart, you had a bounce back here. You'll see where let me circle it so you can see it. The lines kind of briefly crossed, touched, and then bounced off each other. When they do that, that gave an indication of another cross up. So this is considered a continuation or a point where you could add to a position. Now, there will be periods where you're going to get false crosses where the lines cross and then it continues higher, like right here. That happens. You know, this is a tool. You have to look, make decisions based on what you see, but it's only one part of the puzzle. You still need to use money management. You need to use common sense. You need to use, use the knowledge that we teach. And but the confirmation arrow has really been helpful, especially in intraday when you're watching multiple time frames and then you get multiple arrows appearing on, locking in on the 1, 3, and 5 minute. It's a really solid confirmation of a trend. Are there at this point, any specific questions anybody has? Any specific questions for me? And don't be shy. There are definitely no dumb questions. You can shoot me anything very basic. If you have a trading-based question, if you have a chart-based question, a Medved-based question. Again, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help out. All right, so no questions at this point. That's fine. Right now you're looking at Apple. So Apple right now has a solid trend on the monthly chart, and we just got a fresh cross on the 3 minute. It hasn't locked in yet, so that's why the arrow has not appeared, the up arrow. But this could be a point of a potential bounce to go long. So we use, when we're trading intraday, we use a lot of different indicators. And one of the questions from MO actually is about revisit how you use VWAP. So you'll notice this line on my chart right here. I'll highlight it so you can see. This line right here is called VWAP, or volume weighted average price, okay? The volume weighted average price we have found is a good point of reference for looking to where a stock may come back to, okay? Go, so this morning it kind of crisscrossed through the volume weighted average price. It was crisscrossing through it. And then, you know, we had a big move up. We had a pullback, another run up, double top, and then so let's say you were short off this second top right here, and you're trying to figure out, well, where the heck is this thing going? Where could I potentially lock in profit or have my first target? Okay. Well, you'll notice a couple things on this chart. In addition to the volume weighted average price, you see FR1 and R1. That's Fibonacci resistance and then the daily pivot R1. And then this is called the DMH, the DMARC half. It's a DMARC pivot. We use these levels to help guide us to where stocks may be making a turn for getting long or short, or for where we can lock in profits. So if you were short off of the double top right here and you had the confirmation arrow, your first target was definitely right here because you had a confluence of three different, that doesn't even count the first 15-minute fib. Let's throw that monster into the mix, because that's the other thing we use. I need my okay. So this is going to blow your mind, I hope. So I just drew the first 15-minute fib levels. You had a crossover on the 3-minute and back through the 200% of the first 15, okay, right here. So this was your first short right here, okay? If you were looking for your initial target was right here. You had confluence of the 127, R1, and Fibonacci resistance. Okay, you didn't have VWAP at that point, but you had confluence of two different fib levels, one fib level and two different pivot points. Well, guess where we go? Back up to the 200, and then we actually double top the 200. So on that secondary top, you got a down arrow. This is your entry. All right, your first target. This is either where you're going to lock in or tighten your stop. This was a no-brainer when it got to here, because now you had confluence of three different indicators. Fibonacci pivot level, resistance 1 on the daily pivot, VWAP, and the 127. So all you did was, when you got down here, you moved your stop up above the next fib level right here. So if your stop was up higher, you moved it right up in here. And then when it busted through this level, guess what? Your next target was another no-brainer. It was right here, the 786 and the DMARC half line. That was your next target. Now, if you stuck through it because you had a stop above the prior fib, then your next target was right down here, which was the 382 and then Fibonacci pivot. You might have gotten stopped out as it came back up and hit this level right here. But if you notice, lots of confluence of first 15-minute fib levels and the different pivot points that we use. And these pivot points, let me tell you what, you're not going to find some of these on some other platform. A lot of other platforms, you're not going to find these. We use a combination of all of them. 3 different pivots because of how they work together. So using the clear lines along with the fib levels, the pivot points, and the VWAP would have given you a very clear map of where to lock in profits on Apple today. Very clear picture. James says, hey, Kipp, I used to trade with Jennifer Tran. Oh, yay. Okay. Then I traded with you as Rembrandt, specializing in lunchtime pullbacks and bounces. This is the first of your new webinars that I am attending. What is the best way to get full idea of your new trading strategy and software? Also, what is your success rate on this product? So, James, what I would recommend for you is to go to our website, go to equity-alerts.com, and then right here where it says click here for a 1-week free trial, I'll actually copy and paste the link into here. I would come into the, come in and try our alerts for a week, and you'll see us using the clear lines every day. Myself and Lindsay Perry, the Maticat kid, you might have remembered. We along with Lindsay and I, along with Jim Chanel, who was used to be a wise trader, we own and run equity-alerts.com. And let's see, Club Metro. Club Metro's in here. How are we doing? He's one of our customers. I'll just say this, our success rate is very good because you're getting alerts from the 3 of us throughout the day. I can't give you an exact number. We recently started trading the Qs. That's our big one right now that we've been pretty heavily focused on. And I can tell you this much, in less than 4 weeks, I've more than doubled one account just trading the Qs. So we're doing some pretty great stuff. We throw out a lot of amazing trades throughout the day. Lindsay does earnings at the end of the day for an overnight trades. We have Stephen Bilby that joins us 3 days a week doing some options as well. But the best I can offer you is to come in for a week and watch and make a decision for yourself. Now, if you want, what's the best way to get a full, to get a full idea of the software and the strategies that we trade, you have to come into the alerts. That's probably the best thing. And then you can join this session. I do this twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern. And I do this as an informational / training session for Clearlines subscribers or for individuals that have interest in subscribing to Clearlines. But to get the best way to see how we do and how we use it is join us in the webinar, in our Equity Alerts free, do the free 1-week trial. All right. All right. So, so you can see that the software has the Medved platform is very powerful. It allows you to do a lot of things that we could never do with the old WiseTrade software. We've grown as traders since the WiseTrade days. We're definitely doing a lot more technical trading than just the lines, which we were doing that at WiseTrade. We were using price charts and pivot points at WiseTrade. And we were doing the Fibonacci levels, the first 15. We're just doing it much more now. And then I'm going to show you the charts that I use. So this is the great thing about the software, that you can create different layouts. And I have a bunch, you know, I've created miscellaneous layouts for different reasons and from testing and whatnot. But you can, I mean, this software, you can build out whatever you want. I can help you build a very simplistic one or a very complex, depends on what you want. And by the way, anybody that subscribes to the Clear Lines, any new customer, part of what you get from me is a roughly initial 1 hour session. I will remote into your computer. I use a program called TeamViewer. I'll remote into your computer. We'll be on the phone together. I'll help you set up the platform. We'll discuss what layout's best for you initially, and then I'll give you a tutorial. I'll have you take over the mouse, and then I'll take back the mouse, and we'll spend about an hour together getting it all set up and doing training. And then you can go back through and watch some of my prior videos to see some of the tips and tricks. You can log into this session twice weekly and ask questions if you need help with the platform. Most of what people need help with is not my indicator, it's the platform, just because it is a little more complex than the old WiseTrade. So now, what you're looking at on my chart, on your screen, you're seeing 4 charts. There's actually 6, but 2 of them are on another monitor that you cannot see. Well, let's talk about each window. The upper window is just what I call the index window, okay, because I like to see where the market is. Again, it's modular. So you can put whatever symbols you want in there. If you want to use other symbols, you can, but I have the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the VIX. The upper right window is my watch list, or what we used to call the basket. And I'm going to expand it. You can see, you can put however many stocks you're limited by your broker, you can put in there. I scroll through the list. I change this every morning. What I do is I click right here where it says edit portfolios, and then I copy and paste a list basically right into the middle section. I highlight this section right here, and I paste in the new symbols, because I keep the top 2 rows. I have the futures. I have a handful of the FANG stocks, and then down on the bottom, I have a handful of stocks that I like to watch every day. The middle section are the poppers and droppers for the day. But you can build out multiple lists if you want. Dow 30, NASDAQ 100. You can do Forex. You can do Bitcoin. That's the other great thing about the Medved platform. You can trade anything: options, stocks, futures, Forex, Bitcoins, anything, commodities, you name it. As long as you got data and a broker, you can trade it. Actually, as long as you get data. Okay, so oops, let me switch. Actually, this was another feature. This is a half-minute chart, 0.5 minute. So I can do sub-minute charts if I want to. Let me go to my 1 minute, but usually I use a half minute for the first 15 or 20 minutes, and then I go to a 1 minute, and then a 3 minute in this window, and the other window is a 5. There are some other indicators on these charts that I utilize. In addition to my clear lines, obviously I have daily pivots. I have the parabolic stop and reverse, the PSAR. I have the DMARC pivot, the Fibonacci pivot, and then I also have RSI to see if stock's overbought or oversold. Only I use that on the 1 minute. These are both 1 minutes. The top chart is tied to here. So if I click on any one of these symbols, it's going to load it right on that top row. It'll automatically load that stock. The bottom row is not tied to anything, not tied to a watch list. So all I have to do is type on the chart, and then it automatically loads up the symbols. Just type on the chart, and it loads up the symbols. So the 3 minute chart has some additional data. So it's something interesting. So the 1 minute chart does show you the pre-market data, okay, but only for the current day. Okay, so I can see this is the pre-market data, but I don't see it for any prior days, just current day. Okay, the 3 minute chart, and that's a setting. This is another great thing about the Medved platform. The other one has the extended hours set to always. So if there's any pre or post-market trading, after hours, pre-market. Any days that it trades pre or post-market, I get that data. The reason I want to get that data is because that actually has a different effect on some of the indicators. So I have a 3 minute chart that sometimes gives me different pivot points than my 1 minute because of I'm using pre-market versus regular trading hours. There's an advantage to that because sometimes it goes to one but not the other, and then it reverses. So having the ability to see both of those is like really helpful intraday. I also utilize the Bollinger Bands on the 3 minute because it helps in seeing potential turning points, tops and bottoms of bands. So you see like Netflix ran up to the top of the band, came down almost to the bottom, it's back up at the top. It's more of a point of reference. I don't, I like visually seeing it there. And then my 5 minute, which is off to the side on another window. Now it doesn't use any pre or post market data. It's set to never for extended, and it's just clear lines with a VWAP and the daily pivot, and then also ATR down here on the bottom, average true range. I put the ATR on this chart because if I want to get the daily ATR, then all I have to do is go to a 390 minute chart, because that's how many trading minutes are in a day, right? 390. And then that'll tell me what the daily ATR is. $10 on Netflix, 1060. I could use a historical chart and then use, hold on. Does that have ATR? I don't think this has ATR. No, hold on. So there's the ATR again, it's 1060, same number. So you can either do a 390 and do it off of an intraday, or you can do a daily chart to get that. I like to use that 5 minute chart. I have it on my 2 chart layout on the daily. On the 2 chart, it has the ATR. T says, do you still do your pre-market gap ups every day? That's our I've been doing it for years, but that's our bread and butter trade. Every morning, poppers and droppers. So if you subscribe to the clear lines, if you subscribe to equity alerts, okay, so you log in and you can launch your webinar. You can also go to our internal blog, and I post the poppers and droppers to the internal blog every morning. So today we had Baidu, HGV, mRNA, and Coles for poppers and droppers, Sarepta and SE. And then Lindsay will post his earnings plays as well. Good questions today. Thank you. All right, so one of the features that I was talking about is the ability to trade from the charts. So let's spend a little time because everybody wants to know about that. I think it's probably one of the greatest features because this was the best popper, by the way. Look at this thing. This was my favorite, by the way. I picked this morning as my favorite popper. I said this will be the best one today. And hold on, let me do this. I can adjust from here. So the market opened right here. We shot up, came down, came up, and then look, it rolled over from 113 and it's at below 110 now. I knew this was going to be good. All right, so let's talk about trading. If you wanted to trade on the software, you can right click on a chart. So first of all, let me go to the trading button. You can pick whichever account you want to trade out of, okay? Any account that you have connected to Medved, and it'll save the last account you logged in. So let's say I wanted to buy Baidu down here off the lows, and I'm going to do 100 shares in my demo account. But we got an up arrow on the 3 minute, the 1 minute. This is late. I'm just going to tell you I'm already late, but I'm just showing you as an example how to do this. So I can adjust the shares here. This is my quick access toolbar. I've added these little hot buttons on here. Each one of these you can add or remove. I have a B and an S for buy or sell. I can either right click and click buy. I can go to trading and I can click buy from here. I can open a trade ticket and trade from a trade ticket. I like just clicking right here, B for buy, and you'll see this little capsule, and it has the order type, market, limit, stop. So the capsule is sitting right now. I have it ready to go, all right? I call it staged. As soon as I'm ready to commit the order, all I have to do is hit that little check box, and then that will send the order to the broker, all right? As soon as I'm ready to go. So I can have my orders queued up and ready, and then as soon as I'm like, all right, go time, then all I have to do is bink, pushed and filled. And that's it. So once you're in the trade, then all you have to do, all you have to do is go to right here, stop, or bracket. I like to use bracket orders if your broker allows it. All right, we're long, so we're going to sell. As I move my mouse up and down, and it may be hard for you to see, on the capsule, on the top of the capsule, there's a little gain loss number. It tells me how much my gain or loss is going to be depending on where I set my stop. So if I set my stop, let's say down right here at 109.46, if I get stopped out at 109.46, I would lose $27. All right, so let's say I'm okay with that. Hold down my left mouse button, drag. Now it drags another line. That's the other half of my trade, my limit. So let's say I'm trying to figure out, well, where the heck is this going to go? All right. Well, for now, let's just say top of the Bollinger Band. And hold on, it's hard to see. Right there, it says 80, 80. It says my gain would be 80. So if I hit my target, I'm going to make 80. So for those that like to calculate risk to reward, it makes it really easy. I'm risking 27 to make 80. That's about a 1 to 3 risk to reward, risking 1 to make 3. So once I'm ready to commit the order, hit the checkbox, and now I have my bracket order set. Now I can go back, switch to my first 15-minute, because I need to know, well, where the heck is this thing going, potentially. Excuse me. So now I can go back to my 3-minute. All right, let me go, oops, sorry. Go back to my 3-minute. All right, so I could either set my stop, my limit, I could set it here because that's the 786. I could go up here because that's the 618. Well, I don't think we're going to hit the 618 in 15 minutes. I don't think we'll hit the top of the band in 15 minutes. But could we hit the 786? We could. That's more realistic. And that's still 1 to 1.5 or better risk reward. Risk 27 to make 45. Now, if it gets close to this, I can always push it back up a little bit and then trail it manually with my stop. So what this allows you to do is to very quickly adjust your orders, adjust your stop, adjust your limit if you trade brackets, or just manually if all you use is a stop loss. If all I use is a stop loss, then I can cancel this order, hit the X, click on stop, hit the sell button, and then I can just set my stop wherever I want it to be, and then just leave it there. Then I could just manually move my stop up and down. I can grab the capsule and move it up and down, and then change the order quickly. So there's a lot of different ways you can adjust orders for stops. Oh, I'm gonna get stopped out. I just got stopped. Okay, so you can trade on the charts. You can quickly change orders using the capsule. For those that like to trade options, so you can, and we love to trade the Qs. Right click, there's from the right click, you can trade, you can add edit indicators. You can go open a historical chart, which is going to be your day, week, or month. If you're on an intraday, if you're on a historical chart, you can right click and open up the intraday charts. You can trade, that'll open a trade ticket. For those of you that like level 2, you can open up the level 2 quotes. If you use the depth chart or depth of market, you can open those up. All from the chart. If you want to see the news, for you guys that like me that like to trade options, you can open up the option chains. So we were in the Qs puts this morning, the 188s. Unfortunately, I got out way too soon. I was in at $1. Well, I had a goal and I met my goal, but I was in these options this morning at $1.42. I sold them at $1.53. They're now $1.83. 30 cents higher. That's okay. So you can also trade the options from right here. So if I wanted to buy this put, I could click right click from this chart, and then I can go right here, trade QQQ. 183 put. And then this is a trade ticket, so I pick the number of contracts, the order type, market or limit, buy to open, etc. You can do that from right here. So there are lots of different things that you can do with the platform that we could never do. And again, you can keep it real simple if you want to. I have a lot of my clients that they just want the simple 2-chart layout. They don't want any indicators. They don't want any price charts. They just want their red and green lines. They want to keep it simple, and you can do that. It's personal preference by Clear Lines. And then if you want to trade through your broker's website, you can just trade through your broker's website. If that's all you want to do, that's fine too. I do my TD Ameritrade trades directly through their website, my option trading. The platform does allow for some other cool aspects. There are alerts you can set, price alerts. The really cool one is this, you can draw an alert line. So like I can draw a line right here. And if price goes above that line, it's gonna set off a notification. So I could basically wrap that between two levels, and I don't have to have the chart open. I can be on another chart, and if it breaches one of those two levels, I'm going to get a notification. So then I can go back to the chart, which is really cool. If you are a technical trader and you're into chart candle patterns, there is a candle pattern recognition tool built in, and they have, I don't even know, 30 or 40 different candle patterns, and you can select multiple patterns, and if it finds like a shooting star, all right, let's say we want to find shooting stars. Okay, so it will look on this chart for any shooting stars, and if there are some, it'll put a notification, a little star on the chart. I don't see. Maybe we need a different time frame. Let's try adding a couple others. Below the stomach, never heard of that one. Dark cloud cover. Let's see. I'm just gonna add a few more. All right, there's one. Tweezer top. There's a tweezer top. You got to look for the little stars. You can change the little indicator. Maybe we need to try. Oh, here's one. What is that? Tweezer top. I'm not into candle patterns, so For me, it doesn't matter. At Amazon, 10 a.m. Eastern, we went long, shooting star, 10-minute candle. So let's do a 10-minute. Let's put Amazon in. And do we have shooting stars? One of the, oh, right here? No, tweezer top. Hold on. I have shooting star. Isn't that a bearish? That's a bearish signal, is the shooting star. Or I can pick all of them. Whoops. So here was a high wave. Here was a tweezer top. Here was a high wave, doji and high wave, doji, high wave, closing Marubozu. We need a 5-minute. Oh, hammer. That was down here, wasn't it? Look at all those. The doji, a high wave, a long-legged doji, a southern doji, and a spinning top. That was on a 5-minute. Anyway, for those that are into the candle patterns, you can, so you could literally, you could put them all on there. If you want to learn this is the cool thing. If you want to learn candle patterns, just you go in and add them all, right? See what I did? Candle patterns. I selected them all, and then whenever one appears, you're like, all right, well, there's a high wave, there's a closing Bozu, there's a high wave, there's a doji. At least you can start to learn the different patterns, and it gives you little examples. Yeah, I know, long day. I don't know about this high wave one. I think if it's green, is a bullish candle, and if it's red, it's a bearish candle. I don't remember. No, bull. It'll tell you if it's bullish or bearish. Bullish. Actually, what would be interesting is to get to learn here's the really cool thing. You could put them all on and start to study and see if there's like a certain pattern. All right, well, when this forms, we usually get this, like, all right, well, on Apple, we had a closing Marubozu and a last engulfing top, followed by a doji and a high wave, and then look what it did, it reversed. I don't know if that's real or not, but you know, for someone that's trying to figure these crazy patterns out, could be helpful. It looks like we're getting some selling into the close. I'm going to turn them off because I don't use them. But if you have the interest and want to learn it, there you go. That'll help you learn your candle patterns. All right, actually just have a couple minutes to go. Any other questions? Markets are looking like they're going to close it near the lows of the day. Dow's down about 160. The NASDAQ's down 44. The S&P's down 21 points. Wonder where my Q's puts are. $188's now $2. Jeez, 60 cents. Oh well. Any other questions for me today? If you are interested in learning more about the clear lines, you want to see how we use the clear lines every day, I encourage you to go to equity-alerts.com, sign up for the free 1-week trial. You'll see us using the software every day. All right. If you're interested in learning more about the clear lines themselves, hold on. I do have some additional information on the Equity Alerts website. This is where you also would sign up for the indicator. You can subscribe to Clear Lines by themselves for $59 a month, plus you may potentially have to pay $19.99 a month to Medved if you don't have an Ally Invest account, and up to $25 a month more if you don't have an integrated broker to power the software. You can do a combination of clear lines and alerts for $129 a month. I don't provide a free 1-week trial of the clear lines just because I do spend an hour with you getting set up, and you really need a month with it. And for $59 for the first month is reasonable. What are the red and green bars on the bottom of the chart? These are volume bars. That is volume. This was the ATR that I was telling you about. If I go to the daily chart, there's my daily ATR, 348. But yeah, these are volume. And it's an indicator. You can turn them on or turn them off. Or you can have them on a separate chart. I like it on my same chart. Anyways, if you're interested in learning more, again, try the free trial. If you have specific questions, please don't hesitate to email me or call me. Kipp at equity-alerts.com, or call or text me 972-841-8886. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you have a separate question and something I didn't cover you want to ask me, again, you can email me. James, we typically have about 50 people in there during the day at one time. We do have some kind of coming and going throughout the day, but usually about 50. Anyway, thank you again. I will be back on Thursday at same time, 3 o'clock Eastern. Again, this session is recorded and will be up on the YouTube page later this afternoon. You can get to the YouTube page from the equity-alerts.com website. Have a great afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. Good night, everyone.